everybody. It's Neil Malvone, founder of the Dream Bowl. I'm welcoming you to our new podcast series where we're going to hear from some of the amazing players that will be participating in this year's game. Please join Chuck Stuller, our Director of Player Personnel, and his assistant Trey King as they talk to our players and get a little bit more information about what brought them to Dream Bowl 12. Throughout the rest of the year, we'll be interviewing other players, current, former, and future Dream Bowl athletes. So come join us on Surge Sports and be part of the Dream Bowl experience.
Pronounce your last name, Austin?
It's Goffney.
Okay.
G-O. It's like golf and then knee.
Gotcha. All right. So we do have DB safety Austin Goffney with us from Louisiana Monroe. In case you don't know, my name is Chuck Stuller. I'm the executive director of player personnel for the Dream Bowl, and I do have my guy Trey King with me. Like I said, as I've said a couple of times today, he's been my right hand man on the road doing some scouting, sending me the scoops on players, doing some dirty work. He's also going to be mirroring my duties down there in the DFW this week in my absence. So I'm going to go let Trey kick off. He's going to answer some questions, and we're going to get to know you a little bit better, Austin.
Sweet. Sounds good.
Yeah, Austin, first thing, appreciate you accepting your invite. Obviously, it's going to be huge this weekend, getting to see you compete and what you can do down there. Just want to talk about your journey from JUCO, then to Lamar, and then to Louisiana Monroe, and kind of just walk me through that journey that you took there.
All right. Well, first off, I'll start with just talking about high school. In high school, I actually was a quarterback. I played quarterback and receiver here in Cypress in Houston, Texas. I went to Cypress Woods High School, and while I was there, I was a quarterback and a receiver, kind of used more as a gadget player. And my family had a lot of things going on at the time, and I was going there as a transfer athlete. And I decided to transfer back to my home school so that it would be easier to have easier transportation, because my dad really was having to drive far to come and pick me up. And after practices, I was one of the last kids getting picked up. I'm there in high school till like 7 o'clock, late hours, and it was just stressful for my parents. And I was really only going to that school for football. So I just decided to come back to my home school. And when I did that, I lost a lot of my recruitment that I had picked up before. And by coming back to this school, they signed me uneligible. So I missed my whole junior year of varsity athletics, and I wasn't able to play on varsity, which really hurt my recruitment. And I lost a lot of interest that I had in coaches. And my senior year, I also had to miss the first 3 games of my senior year. So I was only able to play 8 games my senior year. And when I was in and I was able to play, I did well, but it hurt my recruitment, which led to me going to junior college. And when I went junior college, I played quarterback and receiver my first summer getting to school at Blinn. And I had some stuff going on with my family. I actually had to come back home and take care of some things back at home. And after that, when I came back, I was told that I would have a better shot to play at the next level and to play beyond college if I were to make the move and transition to play defense. So I had a great coach. I still talk to him to this day. His name is Coach Drew Coleman. He actually played at the junior college level at Trinity Valley, went from there to TCU, and then he was on the Jets for a while, and he played with Darrelle Revis, Antonio Cromartie, and he actually sacked Tom Brady, and he ended up being the defensive backs coach at Blinn at the time, and he was one of the people who recruited me as a quarterback, but he just believed in my athleticism as a whole and thought that I would be able to continue playing, just being a good athlete at another position. And I did it, and I played there for one season. I was actually a one and done. I had good grades, so I was able to get a little bit of film and get out. And I was actually originally offered a scholarship by Abilene Christian University, and I went there to play the nickel slot, nickel corner position. And I played that position a little bit, but I ended up moving to play high safety just because I'm really a lot better at playing at the high safety position, being able to utilize my ball skills and kind of seeing everything from the back end like a quarterback would. And while I was there, we weren't very successful, and my coaching staff got fired. And I actually had to get a shoulder surgery. And after that surgery, when my coaches got fired, I decided to enter the transfer portal. Went to the transfer portal, walked on to Lamar, because during the summertime, a lot of schools don't have money to give you a scholarship whenever you're leaving in the summertime, because most of the time those slots are filled up with high school guys or guys that they picked up from the collegiate level in the spring. So I went there and walked on, earned a scholarship my first semester there, earned a starting role, actually took a starting role from an all-conference player, a safety that they had at the time, played there. Did okay my first year. Had about 50 tackles, interception, a couple PBUs, a couple TFLs, and I was splitting time. And I didn't start really until the very last game of the season. The following year, I came back to Lamar, and I started off the season really hot. The first game against Abilene Christian, we lost, I believe, by 3 points. Had about 7 tackles. Second game of the season, we had our big game versus SMU. I was actually able to play my little brother Dylan. He was a receiver there at the time. I was able to get a pick off Tanner Mordecai, snatch it away from Rasheed Rice, who just went off last night. And things were really looking up. The next game of the season, we had Northern Colorado. We had them at home. I was able to get 12 tackles in that game, 2 PBUs, 2 TFLs, but I actually broke my ribs in the first quarter of that game, and I finished the game with 2 broken ribs, which like a lot of people don't know, but I played and I really risked hurting myself further by playing, and my parents weren't too happy about that. And when we had to go check on it at the doctor, they said that I had cracked my 8th rib and my 11th rib on my left side, and that I was sidelined for the rest of the year due to the possibility of I had a little fragment that was loose, and they didn't want me to hurt it worse or end up puncturing like a lung or something. And so I sat out the whole season. We didn't do that well. I think we only won 1 game. And then the next semester, they fired the coaching staff before I was getting in the portal, they fired the coaching staff again. So this is the second time that I've been with the coaching staff that's been fired. And I had a coach there that really believed in me. His name was Wayne Cordova, who actually got me there to walk on there and help me earn the scholarship. And he felt that with the amount of tape that I had accumulated over the past year and a half playing at Lamar, that it would be a good idea for me to enter the transfer portal, because he didn't know if he was coming back, and he figured that the staff was going to most likely be getting fired. He didn't want me to end up in a bad situation. And I entered the transfer portal. I actually received like 15 offers in the first week, and things were really picking up. And I got the offer from ULM, and with it being close in location and being an FBS school, and me feeling like I had an opportunity to kind of raise my stock by going to ULM, I decided to go there. And I mean, this season really wasn't a good season. I didn't have the greatest relationship, I would say, with my coach, but I was able to still learn a lot, regardless of how much I was able to get in there and really utilize my true skill set. By playing out of position this past year, it taught me a lot about certain angles and certain things that I need to work on, just in case there's certain scenarios that I'm put into later. Because truthfully, I would say that I am most definitely a high safety, but having to play a lot in the box this past semester and this year has kind of enabled me to learn how to get away from offensive linemen and kind of shoot gaps from different angles and be able to anticipate throws and see how the quarterback's reads change, whether I'm 12 yards back or whether I'm 5 or 6 yards back. So not having the best year this year was also a really big learning lesson for me, and I feel like it's maybe something that I needed in order for me to just be prepared to play at the next level, no matter what position it may be. If it's high safety, or if it's an outside linebacker slot, or if it's back to nickel safety, or if I'm a in the box rover linebacker, just whatever. I'm pretty versatile, so I would say that my time at all of those schools has really helped me get to where I'm at now.
Yeah, man, it's great to hear. Obviously, it's God's plan too. So,
Yes, sir.
You got to put yourself in a good position to be well versed across the whole defense. So that's something that's a positive out of that. you talked about getting 15 offers when you first put your name in the portal. Was ULM one of the only FBS offers you got, or
No, sir.
what
I
made you
actually
choose there?
received an offer from Northern Illinois University, NIU, in the MAC. I received an offer from Akron in the MAC, and I also received one from ULM. I had some big interest, but whenever you're in the transfer portal in December, it's really weary because you're waiting on a lot of these schools to get done with bowl games, and then they're rushing to kind of offer you because they don't know which guys are leaving and which guys are coming, and you really don't know where you're going to go unless you wait until about right now, which is right before school's starting, and then you have the opportunity to make a choice also before there's dead week, which is around like December 21st is, I think, the first day when dead week starts. So you either have to rush a decision or you have to risk losing all of your offers and make a decision quick.
Yeah.
And I ended up making a quick decision based off of location and just the ability to play my former school again. And even though it didn't go the best, I don't regret it. I don't regret it. I feel like I learned a lot being at ULM, and I learned a lot about myself. So it was a pretty straight experience.
Awesome. It's good to hear. Chuck, I'll throw it over to you.
Yeah, absolutely. And Austin, thanks for breaking all that down for us. I mean, that's you've had a long, interesting journey, and you talked about when you were at ULM this year. I mean, I think we chatted a little bit about it too. Maybe you're maybe miscast as kind of like the in the box, like kind of linebacker kind of safety thing. But I'm glad you're able to take a lot out of that and learn a lot from that. And it's our game is not always, it's not about production. It's kind of like about your body of work and also who you are on and off the field.
Yes,
So
sir.
I remember I lived in Texas for 5 years, and I'm familiar with Lamar's program. And I remember you watching you like at Lamar, like watching some tape too. I was like, that dude's got something. Like you can see it. You know what I mean? And you were productive. And I was like, there's no reason why this guy can't come here and show out at the game. I'm not going to worry about the ULM stuff. And as you said, you took a lot from that experience. And
Yes, sir.
And I'm glad
Thank you.
you wouldn't. Sure. I'm glad to hear you said that you wouldn't do anything over again, because you did take a lot from that experience. You got to play play against like a higher level of some FBS guys. And we do have your quarterback coming too, Jai
Yes,
Wright.
sir.
He's coming too. We actually talked to him earlier while he was driving as well. So it was cool to talk to him. It was a good conversation. You guys are probably going to be roommates, just going to go out on a limb.
Sweet.
I hope that works out well.
Well, we were roommates in college, so it fits.
Oh, all right. That's what's up.
Yes,
Excellent.
Sir.
And there's I'm not sure. We probably discussed it, but normally we take like maybe 5 FBS guys, but this year we wanted to get a lot more in this year with the absence of the NFLPA game. So you're probably we got around like 10 to 15 guys coming. So you're definitely not the only FBS players that are going to be there. It's definitely going to be a higher level of competition. And we're not going to split you guys apart. You guys are all going to be on the field at the same time. And like I like to say, iron sharpens iron.
Yes, sir.
And it's going to be a nice level of competition this year for sure. Now, aside from football, I know you talked about your family. And you said you're from Cypress, Texas. That's is that closer to Houston, Cypress?
Yes, sir. It's like it's really the last piece of North Houston. They really call it Cypress North Houston. It's right on the edge, right before you get to like Prairie View, the Prairie View Waller area.
Gotcha. Now, is your family coming up for the game next week? Some of them?
Yes, sir. My mom and dad will be there. My grandparents will be there. I got a couple former teammates coming as well.
Excellent. I'm glad to hear that. Now, as far as like your mindset and getting your mind right and getting ready for the game, do you have any pregame rituals that you like to do? We talked to some guys today. Like they like to sit in dark corners, put the towels over their heads, and get their minds right. Like, what do you like to do?
See, me, I actually do so much football stuff all the time throughout the day, like every day. If you were to talk to Jai about it, he'd be able to tell you. But before games, I like to really completely get away from the fact that I have a game. Like whenever I was at ULM, I would go and kayak. There's these lakes and these little creeks that they have, and I go and kayak them. And I'm really big into music. I listen to all different genres, and I'll just go out there and just let my mind be free. Or I'll watch some old movies. Like there's movies that are really sentimental to me and they mean a lot to me, and I'll watch them before I have a sports game. And one of them that I always watch is Surf's Up with Shia LaBeouf, the Penguins. And then I like to watch The Sandlot because you're talking about Benny,
Yes,
when he's talking.
excellent choice.
Whenever he's talking to Babe Ruth, and Babe Ruth tells him, he's like, listen, kid, like heroes are forever, but legends never die. Like when you hear stuff like that, and it's just taking me back to my mindset as a kid when I first started playing, and just kind of like that hunger. And so when I'm watching those movies, and the person who really got me put on this is my brother, like my little brother. He's a receiver, and he always used to tell me, because I used to be a guy who used to like, I'm getting super hyped up, I'm going out there to smash someone, until I realized that now that I'm at this age, I really don't have to get that hyped up because I already love the game. It's really much more, I play better and I play under less duress if I'm calm. So whenever I'm calm and I'm able to just feel good and have a laugh, like that's really it. It really doesn't take anything, because I love football so much. I'm best when it's just another day.
Excellent. Now, lastly, you're close to Houston, so does that mean you're a Texans fan?
I'm gonna be honest. I'm actually a Chicago Bears fan. I've been a Chicago Bears fan my whole life. Yeah. I had a little league team, little league Pop Warner team that I have played on whenever I was little, and our organization is called the Keith Bears. And so I was always a Bear growing up. Every year I'm blue and orange. And so the year that they went to the Super Bowl in 2007 was actually my first year on the Bears. So that really, and they lost to Peyton Manning with the Colts. And that was whenever it really started. And growing up, I was a running back. My favorite running back and player of all time is Walter Payton, as well as LaDainian Tomlinson. And LaDainian Tomlinson really liked Walter Payton. He was a Bears guy. I like Mike Ditka. He was in the movie Kicking and Screaming. So it was just a lot of connections to the Bears.
One of my prized possessions.
Walter. Yeah, that's my guy.
One of my prized possessions.
R.I.P. to the GOAT.
Yeah, him and Barry. Him and Barry tied for first for me.
Yeah, I love Barry too. His career was just so short. That's really it. And you know what's crazy is one of my closest friends growing up's dad was the fullback for Barry Sanders at Oklahoma State when Mike Gundy was the quarterback. I grew up with him. His name's awesome. Garrett Limbrick. So yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah, Barry. I've been knowing about Barry for a while.
Did he block for Thurman Thomas too?
I don't think so, because he's actually older than Barry, and I want to say he's about the same age or a little.
If he's older than Barry, he should have been in for Thurman, because Thurman came before Barry.
Well, he came in as a quarterback. He came in as a quarterback from Houston. I don't know which high school. He came in and he lost the job to Mike Gundy, and he was actually a running back for a second/tight end, and then moved him to fullback. He played fullback for a year, and then he ended up going to the NFL to play for the Miami Dolphins for a little bit.
Sweet.
That's
really cool, man. I'm glad to hear that. I love hearing how kind of things have like this. Was it 6 degrees of each other? Like the thing in Hollywood, those are the 6 degrees of Kevin Bacon. Yep. You can tie anything to Kevin Bacon in Hollywood. Anything you can tie Walter Payton or Barry Sanders too.
Yeah, you can.
I'm all on board for that. Did you have any other questions for Austin, Trey?
Yeah, just want to know what you're looking forward to most about this weekend.
Really, this weekend I'm really just looking forward to, well, like as I've talked to you really about my season this year. I really didn't get the opportunity this season to really showcase myself as a safety. I felt like for the past couple years, whenever I was at Lamar, I was able to garnish some respect in the Southland Conference. The Blue Bloods had picked me as a preseason All-American before I broke my ribs that season. and things were really just starting to heat up. And I feel like truthfully, I wasn't able to perform and do the things that I'm used to doing. By playing out of position, it it made me feel very uncomfortable. And I'm a player that when I'm comfortable, I can play, I feel like, with anyone in the nation. And I'm not just saying that because I'm supposed to say it. I'm saying that because I've done it. You know, whenever we go against SMU, I was able to make a play and lead the team in tackles. Whenever we played this year versus Army, I was able to lead the team in tackles with the least amount of plays on my team, playing on defense. It's just I just want to be able to show and prove to the scouts and really just help my name rise, because I know that this year hurt my draft grade, and I'm a person who's a realist, and I feel like regardless of how bad things have been for me or what I've endured, I know that I can still make my dreams come true if I continue to work and I continue to do the things that I'm doing. I talked to Matthew Jackson, who played in y'all's Dream Bowl last year,
Yes.
and I actually played against Matthew whenever I was at Lamar in my first season, and I thought he was a dog, and he respected my game as well. So he was the person that I hit up immediately before I even decided to play in the bowl, and he was a person who actually helped influence my decision, because if you look at him now, no one knew what was going to happen with him, and you look at him now, he's on the active roster for the Tennessee Titans. And I just have a lot of friends who they didn't give up. They had awkward situations, but they didn't give up, and mostly all of them are in the NFL, like 5 or 6 of them that I can count. And a couple are in the UFL and Canadian Football League now. But I mean, I believe in myself, and I just believe that this weekend, if I'm able to go down there, and I mean, I know I'll look the part and I'll do the things that I need to do, but just being able to talk to some of these scouts and getting to voice my story. I know that it's not always a time where you get to, but just I hope that if they can see the product that I put on the field, and if they see the film that I do have, that there won't be as many questions as there are, because I know that I can ball. And so that's really it. I just want to come down there and have a great time, meet with the scouts, build some relationships, learn from some of the other guys, learn from some of the other DBs, learn from the coaches, pick up some pointers that I can have and that will help me later on, because I feel like I can continue to play the game at a high level for a little bit. I just need to get my foot in that door the proper way.
Fantastic. No, that's awesome here. And I'm pumped. I'm pumped you chose our game, man. Like I'm truly really excited about seeing you compete this weekend, because I do think you have what it takes, obviously from what I've seen, and you garner some accolades too over your playing career. So excited to see you compete out there, man.
Thank you.
Now before we close everything out here, did you have any questions for Trey and I before we sign off?
Really no, sir. I'm just pumped. What would you say? What would you say is one thing that the scouts are looking for when they go to these type of things?
That's a good question. I had a Colt scout talk to me a couple years ago about the players that are there, because a lot of times they'll judge a player if they're based on certain lists before they go. Like they'll have players that they come to look at. They have like a predetermined list, whether they're on a Blesto list or on a spring list, whatever. But they come to see 4 players, but they hope to come out looking at 10 players, if you know what I mean.
Yes, sir.
So
Yes, sir.
They want you to come and give 100% effort, because we had a couple of guys that had never seen an NFL scout before. But the scouts seen they had athletic ability. They seen they had size. They seen these things. But they said, "Hey Chuck, what's going on with this tight end over here? He's an athletic kid, but what do you think's going on?" I'm like, "Well, I don't think he's ever seen an NFL scout before, and he's kind of intimidated." He's like, "Well, go ahead and pull him aside and say, hey, look, if you give 100, if you show us what you can do, 110% here, this might lead to something beyond this."
Yes, sir.
Now, I'm not sure if he got a call from that team, because that's kind of beyond me. But the best advice I can give is give 100% while keeping yourself and your teammates, the guys on the other side of the ball, safe as well, because it is an all-star game. It's not the Super Bowl. We do want you guys to be safe. But just give it everything you got, but also keep yourself and everyone around you safe. That's the best thing I can say. Just give 100% out there. And I have no doubt in my mind that you're going to do that.
Yes,
and I think to add on to that a little bit too, that the scouts want to get to know you character wise too, because obviously for them this is an investment that they have to make, and it's their career, and they're putting their career on the line for whoever they pick up or whoever they want to bring in. So they got to be high character people, good human beings, obviously athletic as hell, and can really ball. So kind of what Chuck said, give 100%, and then also be true to yourself, like be authentically yourself. If you have those meetings, if and when you have those meetings with those executives of different teams, and obviously just be a great teammate as well, because those are some of the intangibles that scouts are looking for from what I've seen.
Absolutely.
So, sweet.
All right, man. You got any other questions, or you want to sign off here?
No, sir. That's really it. I'm ready to get the ball rolling.
Excellent.
Awesome.
All right, Austin. Thank you so much for your patience, and thanks for jumping on the call with Trey and
Yes,
I.
sir. And thank y'all for squeezing me in. It's been a hectic day. My brother's car, his car had died. He just got back to Colorado State today, and when he got there, he needed transportation. But because it's like negative 10 degrees there right now, his car had not been starting, and he didn't have the AAA information. So I had to do that in the middle of my training and help him with the AAA information so his car could get a jump. And then when his car did get the jump, he's like, you're not, once the car gets jumped and it's cold, you really got to keep it running.
Yeah.
Well, he cut it off. And when he cut it off, it ended up going.
He needs another jump.
Again. Yes, he needed another jump. So I had to do it again. Yeah.
That's hilarious. All right. We're glad you made it on, and we're happy we were able to squeeze you in here.
Thank you. Me as well. I appreciate you guys.
But with that, man, we'll see you on Thursday, and obviously safe travels getting there.
Sweet. Thank you.
I was given